It's considered one of our country's best colleges, and it has several names: the Academy, the Point, West Point. Tyler tells us about the history of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
West Point traces its roots back to the American Revolution. General Washington considered this the most important military location in America. He called it the key to the continent.
Both the British and the Americans knew that whoever controlled the Hudson River would probably win the war. The best way to move a lot of people, men, soldiers, supplies, provisions, was by water, using ships and boats. So controlling the river networks in America was an important aspect in the war.
Massive fortifications were built and crammed with Continental soldiers.
Shaw! Bayonets! Huzzah!
To keep the British from traveling upriver and dividing the colonies, a giant 100-ton chain was stretched across the Hudson. These here are links from the original chain. Each link weighs about 200 pounds each.
Yes, it did work, even though there was no attempts to get past the chain or to come up the river with British ships. It was the deterrent to the British.
In 1779, Washington moved his headquarters to West Point. It was here that America's most famous traitor tried to betray his country. His name has become the symbol of treason.
I think that was Benedict Arnold.
Benedict Arnold?
That was Benedict Arnold.
Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold.
In 1780, he wanted to be the commander here. He'd been wounded grievously a couple years earlier, and he felt that he wasn't being treated properly. So his wife and he had conspired with the British to turn over West Point for 30,000 pounds sterling. In today's money, that'd be several $1,000,000. So he sought this command, he gained this command, and then he tried to turn it over to the British, but it was foiled and he escaped, and he became the most famous traitor in American history.
Arnold fled to safety with the British. After the war, the young country recognized it needed a military college.
What our founding fathers realized with the size of our country, we need a strong military. We also needed a professional military class of officers that were educated and trained in the art and science of war.
In 1802, President Jefferson made it official. The United States Military Academy was born. This is the entrance to West Point. It's called Thayer Gate. It's named after the man known as the father of the Military Academy, Colonel Thayer.
He is known as the father, not the founder, but the father of the Military Academy. His contribution is immense. He established what we call the Thayer method, where students were tested every day, discipline was rigid, and duty, honor, country, those words, though not codified in law, they were the standard. 1st Division Barracks was built in 1851. Over the years, some of our nation's greatest military leaders slept and studied here. Names like World War I's General Pershing, World War II's General Douglas MacArthur, and Desert Storm's General Norman Schwarzkopf. 2 of the 3 astronauts on Apollo 11 were West Point graduates, Michael Collins and Buzz Aldrin. You think of all our great generals and officers, most of them were educated at West Point. We've had 2 U.S. presidents that gained their education here. We've had all kinds of incredible personalities come through here and serve.
When we return, we'll learn what it takes to attend West Point. The U.S. Military Academy at West Point doesn't look like your typical college, and it's not. Students here are called cadets. In all, some 4,000 attend the academy.
And the author describes it as, it's basically the mechanical efficiency of that pump motor combination.
The education here at West Point is outstanding. In 2009, we were chosen by Forbes magazine as the best college in America.
Is equal to 210 degrees.
And it has just what you'd expect at a top college, from state-of-the-art educational facilities to all kinds of extracurriculars. But it also has this. And this. Cadets go through rigorous physical training and learn combat skills.
What up? 2 up, 3 up. Room clear.
To apply for admission, you need to be a U.S. citizen between 17 and 23 years old. You must meet high standards for academics, leadership, and physical ability. And you need to be nominated, usually by a member of Congress.
Just to get into the academy is quite an achievement for young people who apply. And we have some of the finest military and civilian professors and instructors in the nation.
It's a West Point tradition that the lowest ranking person of the class is known as the GOAT. This man was the GOAT of his class. He's George Patton. Despite being the GOAT, he became one of our most brilliant and effective generals in World War II. The Academy's motto is duty, honor, country, and it's taken very seriously here. Cadets live by an honor code that states, a cadet will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate those who do.
Integrity, honor, those things are critical because we are developing leaders of character.
Graduates earn a Bachelor of Science degree, along with a commission in the Army as a second lieutenant.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Class dismissed!
This excellent education is tuition-free, but graduates are expected to serve in the military for 5 years. Not all of West Point's traditions have stood the test of time. In 1980, Andrea Lee Holland became the first woman to graduate the Academy. West Point is open to visitors, though you have to be part of a scheduled tour.
I believe any time throughout the year is a wonderful time to visit West Point. When the cadets are here in session, when they're marching on the plane, football games, it's wonderful.
Our time, on.
We have a world-class museum. We really do. And the scenes around West Point, the vistas, the scenery is just majestic. We have the proud heritage of the American Revolution.
When you see the cadets marching on the parade ground, it's easy to understand why present and past cadets are proudly called the Long Gray Line. A favorite saying here is, much of the history we teach was made by the people we taught. At West Point, I'm Tyler for Teen Kids News.